Well, after a wild and crazy 2-week Northwest swing, the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series returns to action this Saturday night at Dollar Speedway on June 29th in Chico for the David Tarter Memorial. We talked with a couple personalities, including NARC General Manager Jim Allen, as well as longtime announcer Troy Hennig, about the meaning of this weekend, the points race so far after all the races that have gotten completed, and what is going to be in store for this special night. But before we get to the interview, make sure wherever you're listening or watching from, you hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future episodes. Well, Jim Allen, we are in this full swing of summer racing for the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series. We've kind of gotten through that congested fixtures with the fastest 5 days in motorsports, Jim Raper Memorial Super Dirt Cup. That's all wrapped up, but there's still 3 weekends straight coming up for this series, and what better way than go Dollar Speedway, a place that NARC knows very well and can put on a great show.
Absolutely, yes. June has been one heck of a month. This is our 10th race for the month. We've had 9 different winners this month, and whatever. Hey, let's go shoot for number 10 at the High Banks at Silver Dollar. It should be a pretty good show up there.
It feels like it's been 2 months since the Bradway on June 1st, but I just have to look at the calendar just to double check that I'm not going crazy. And there's been a lot that's happened since then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we just wrapped up the fastest 5 days in motorsports, and that was already 2 weeks ago, which is hard to believe. And then the Super Dirt Cup, there's 3 more races. Most of the teams that I've talked to pretty much got back yesterday. And they don't really have much time to regroup, but hey, they're rebuilding and rechecking, getting all their stuff back together. Nobody wants to pass up a race in Chico, and it's always exciting up there.
Well, it's something that I didn't note in the press release, but I probably should have emphasized on that this weekend, it's pretty big for these teams. And the what I'm alluding to is this is really the last time these teams with a 410 can race at Chico before the Gold Cup in August. I almost said in September, but later on in the summer. So these are not just crucial laps here in general. These are extra special to kind of squeeze in some notes that they can build up for their notebooks.
Exactly. As you alluded to, we got 3 races. We got Chico, Petaluma. What do we got? I forgot from there. Getting rusty here. Ocean Speedway, and then Santa Maria. Then this is it. At that point, the High Limit Series comes out, the Outlaws come out, and most of our guys are going to be racing in those series. The Gold Cup race, the Champions, is $100,000 to win. There's so much importance on that event, and of course, the locals would love to upset the High Limit guys right there on the home track, similar to what Corey Day did last season. So I agree with you 100%. Laps are important there, and just the bottom line fact, Chico's just a fun place to race. I think we could have a race there on any given Tuesday night, and I think we'd end up with 30 cars.
Yeah, talking with Troy Hennig, it sounds like car count's going to be really good, and it's a special race too. It's a pretty popular event for the venue that pays tribute to a driver that basically born and raised in Chico and a fabric of that community, and the whole family comes out and does some great things to make it a stand out versus other events that the venue hosts.
Exactly. Memorial events are always tough. We like to go race them, but we never want to lose track of why we're racing and why we're having that event. David Tarter, yes, was a great person, and what happened, in just a split second, life passed him by, and just a sad moment. The family, I don't know, I think this helps them in the healing process, and they want to keep his name alive in this racing event, and I think it's a spectacular thing that they're doing, and I think the racers really appreciate it for that fact.
Well, let's talk about the points race. This time last year, after fastest 4 days in motorsports, was talking about Corey Day's just enormous lead that he came out with over Dominic Scelzi. That's not the case with Cole Macedo and Justin Sanders. It's just as close as it was going in. These guys are just like Ollie and Frazier, just going at it. Hogan and Andre. It's a battle between these guys, and Macedo won last time they were there. at Chico. Sanders was very fast, got caught up in a red, and you know that he's hungry to win for the second time the Tarter race.
Absolutely, yeah. So Cole has a whopping 5-point lead in the main event. So that would be a grand total of between first and third place. That's how close. So everything matters in a big way. And it's kind of strange. We've got 14 races under our belt at this point. Cole Macedo came out of the starting gates at the season and had 2 quick victories. And I'm going, oh my gosh, Cole's going to go and he's going to win 10 races this year. And then of course Justin Sanders, he's not going to sit on the sideline and be whatever. He's not going to let something like that happen. And winning he's really never ever happy unless he is winning. And then of course he strings together a series of wins, and those two once again, it's a heavyweight battle where every position counts, and they know they're going to tell you off the record that they're not paying attention to the points race. But I guarantee they got a calculator in the brain just to see where exactly they stand at any given moment.
Well, and I think what was really cool these last couple of weeks is we saw, you bend under pressure, you fold under pressure, or you rise under pressure. I think we saw some guys really rise from the pressure of just the grueling schedule. I mean, notably, the first couple names that pop up in my mind is Justin Cox. Had a great final night at Dirt Cup and also in prelim action, but obviously the win at Cottage Grove, you could just kind of sense the weight off of those guys' shoulders that, oh, all right, we're in good shape. We're a winning team to start with. Now we're actually winning. And then Dominic Gordon, of course, during Dirt Cup. Of the 3 Rookie of the Year candidates we had, it really looked, on paper, it looked like it was going to be who's going to get it first, Steele or Garcia. And then Gordon just has a ripper of a race on Friday night.
Yeah, man, you got some great quotes in that second segment just introducing that. I'm impressed there. Let's go to Justin Cox first. He was started out slow. Remember at the mini Cold Cup opener at Chico, he ended up cracking a couple ribs, bruised ribs. He was hurting. I think he wasn't even in the top 10, and he's strung together a series of great finishes. I mean, he's got 3 top 5s at the Super Dirt Cup, and that's a event where there's so many variables in play. Finishing in the top 5 is it's just a huge accomplishment. Then he got the big win earlier at the fastest 5 days in motorsports at Cottage Grove. Love watching that team win because they take it all seriously. They work really hard, and it was great to see him there. And he's climbed all the way up to 3rd place in the standings. And if Cole and Sanders get too much of a battle, he's in the hunt real quick. And then that rookie thing is awesome. Caden Steele, he's turned out to be the model of consistency. Gage Garcia, he had a few problems on the road trip, but he's still in the top 10. And as you alluded, man, Dominic Gordon, though, that feature event, I've already watched it 3 or 4 times, and I'm just going, he was riding that cushion like Cole Macedo and some of those guys who really like to rip the top, like he had been doing it forever. And entering that event, I think his best finish all season was a 7th place finish. And he went from that to basically beating 44 of the best cars on the left coast, plus a few extras for a victory that I don't know, that's one of those victories that you won't forget about until he wins something bigger. That's going to be the one he defines his career with.
No doubt. And we're still in the meat of the season, and I'm sure we're going to see plenty of other storylines emerge and everything because there's a bunch of other cats that they're hungry for a win. They've been close sometime this year, or they're getting in a good rhythm, or maybe they're in a slump and they want to get back in a good rhythm. That's the great thing about racing week in, week out, where we're not really taking any breaks at all until July 20th.
Exactly, yeah. So you've got a whole bunch of guys that are still searching for that win. It would be nice to see if we can get 10 different winners during the month of June. I mean, just think of the people who haven't won: Caden Steele, Bud Kading, Dylan Bloomfield, Tanner Carrick, Gage Garcia, Nick Parker, Chase Johnson. We've got, that's a pretty impressive list right there of people. I mean, that makes one hell of a heat race, and that would also make a great first 3 or 4 rows of a main event and a pretty good battle. So, race fans, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, Chico is definitely the place. We're on there Saturday night, And then they also have a 410 show there on Friday night as well.
Well, Troy, Hennig, the David Tarter Memorial, it's coming up. Quick turnaround for these guys for the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series, but this race, it's a special one, the Silver Dollar Speedway, and I know it's a special one to you. It should be a great happening at Chico.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. We're expecting a good car count. Obviously, the crowd should be great. The weather looks perfect. I've already forecasted that, and it should be the mid to low 90s, which for Chico at that time of the year is perfect. David unfortunately lost his life at our speedway, and I was there, and I'm still really close with the family. I'm close with David's brother. We talk quite often about things, not only in racing, but in life. And, I've talked to him multiple times the last couple of weeks, and it's a great way for us to honor his memory, to keep his spirit alive. For people that didn't know David, he was kind of a happy-go-lucky guy. He, didn't let things get too high, but he didn't let them get too low. He was a very cool dude, friendly to everyone in the pit area, and he was the type of guy that every penny he earned went to that sprint car to keep it on the racetrack. So it's a big loss when we did lose him. Luckily, though, we're able to, keep his memory alive, and I think the 12th edition of the David Tarter Memorial should be fantastic. And we are going to raise lots of money, not only for the drivers, but for the Children's Foundation at the Enloe Hospital. That's through the Tarter family, raffles and giveaways. And between you and I am going to organize a helmet deal for Angelique Bell, too. I'm going to try to raise some money for her on Saturday.
Super cool. And it sounds like there's some other cool stuff. What was I reading? There's a 360 bonus. And then obviously they have commemorative t-shirts for sale too that you can get from the Tarter family.
Yeah, I just saw a post today by Shelly Tarter. They do a helmet raffle every year to raise money. They do 2 quilts, sprint car quilts, and then they do multiple things, but it's a raffle. You can go buy the shirts, hats, or sweatshirts, the Tarter Memorial stuff. I think Randy Frank designs a shirt every year. He does a great job. And the thing that really works for this race is obviously we're remembering David Tarter, but it's a kid that was born and raised in Chico. He went to a high school here in town, and people remember his name, knew him when he lived here. And I think that's what brings people out in droves. And not only that, but that just shows you he was kind of a guy that mingled with racetrack people, with his old friends from high school. He was very visible in our community. He ran go-karts at Cycleland, Red Bluff. I mean, he's just been a lifer when it came to racing. So, it's cool. There's a lot of giveaways. It's always at Silver Dollar Speedway, we have a lot of marquee events, but behind Gold Cup and maybe July 4th, I would say, like, crowd-wise, the David Tarter is the 3rd most attended race of the year at Silver Dollar Speedway.
Well, race fans, that does it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you continue to enjoy these upcoming interviews. We appreciate it if you would like and subscribe wherever you're listening, whether it's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever it's at. Give us a like and give us a subscription so that we can deliver more of these great interviews to you for your listening pleasure. In the meantime, wherever we're at, wherever you're listening, we hope you have a great rest of your day and a pleasant evening, and we will see you soon here at Highside Racing Promotions.